Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Trash Comps. Today we are doing the Sight team. So I've got Yogurt, Nesglect, the Frog, and Sylvie. Sylvie and Nesglect are going to be the main focus of the build. They have the most damage based off of Sight. Yogurt is here for blocking and tanking, and the Frog is here to support in whatever way he can, usually by applying Bless and Powerful, and that's mostly it. Sometimes a little bit of extra damage. Alright, so getting this started, going over the perks for Yogurt. We have max speed. The plan is to slow down other enemies, while the Frog is going to speed up allies, although I do have Yogurt with the ability to speed up too. We got max block perks on Yogurt. Nesglect we gave speed because, again, we want him to be able to be fast. Yeah, he's got Insanity and Mind Damage up. He also has Max Sight application, or at least he will by the end of this. We just have more powerful charges on the Frog, Max Healing, Max Regeneration, and a little bit of Marking because he does have some ability to mark. Sylvie's got Max Bleed because we're going to be taking the Bleed Sight applying perk. And then we have the Powerful at the 10% mark because I'm pretty confident in the Frog's ability to give us Powerful. I didn't really have a deck made like right away, I would say. So this is my first attempt with the Sight team. I figured it was going to be really strong. It's something that like Melik and I talked about for a long time before getting really into the higher madness levels. Like, we figured this was going to be really good. Currently, Oculi, I believe, is the only pet that applies Sight, and it doesn't do damage unless you get purple Oculi. So I'm going to be going for the Sheep with Nesglect, because I think that's a little bit stronger, and then I'll give Gustav Oculi later. I do have a lot of decks built like for previous runs, but this is going to be a lot of me figuring out what really needs to go into my deck or not. This is my full deck building process. If you've seen my other videos, you may have seen the faster deck building process where I've already done like a test run or two and figured out like mostly what I need. Sorry for the slowness on this one. It'll be a little bit before they're complete, probably around the 5-minute mark, I would think. But yeah, in case you wanted to see it, here it is. Yogurt, we're going to be trying to take out most of his damage. He does start with 2 sharpens, which is nice. We do have extra sharp application on him just for that reason, so that he could apply sharp on Sylvie, and we can upgrade it to make it so that it targets any hero. We are upgrading those piercing howls as well because we want the vulnerability and slow on Yogurt, or on all the enemies. So he's going to be doing that for us while Gustav will be speeding us up. It's going to be very nice. Nesglect, he's going to be very supporty. He does have a really good passive where he applies a bunch of Sight. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's my max Sight applications. It probably is. You only get like +2. Mind Visions is a really good Sight damage amplification card, like, because it does the triple if it has Vanish. Triple the amount of Sight. So if you have 100 Sight on an enemy, that's a base 300 damage, not including any other modifiers. Very, very nice. Still, it's not as much as you'd like sometimes, and the triple is really good damage, but the base version of just X equals the amount of Sight that's on them has a max damage of 100, which is good for a 2-cost card, but it's not really that strong in the grand scheme of things, unless you have a lot of other modifiers on it. Like, sometimes you're better off with just a good amount of sharp and going Gustav's mind damage route. But that's not what this run's about. This is about Sight application. So Sylvie will be the main carry, especially in the early game. She does have some of the best ways to apply Sight, and that she applies Sight on hit with her decks. So we're going to be going for Tempest because we might as well. It's the best route. For Sylvie. Nesglect also just gets a free farmer when he gets Betty, so we can have a really good start at the, or sorry, not start, but we can have a really good Act 4 finish with a free shop, which I believe I go that route. The Frog is, again, mainly here for healing and powering up Sylvie. The Dispels are really nice, especially in the early game. It takes quite a bit to make it through, like, I would say Act 1 is one of the harder acts in the game for this team. Not that Act 1 is particularly challenging overall, just that like this team doesn't have a lot of good ways of doing damage early outside of Sylvie, since we're so focused on trying to apply sight with a lot of the team. Like, it's mainly just a less good full Sylvie support team, which is not exactly what you want, right? So, yeah. It's a very safe team, I would say, for the most part, though. Because Yoger's going to have a lot of block. He's going to be able to sharpen a little bit. Nezglect has good amount of heals. You can see me making my decks for everybody. I'm like, which decks do I delete? I have some really old ones. Calling all of these sight. I wanted to make sure I had enough shards for Sylvie, and I felt like I did. So yeah, here we go. We have a good path going up with Betty to the Tempest area. Finalizing all my perks. We have a little bit of extra bless on Gustav as well, because we are playing to get the Battle Ballad, which does apply bless and powerful to the whole team. I think it's called Battle Ballad. Yoger's also going to be really nice with premium meat to stack up the sharp and powerful on our teammates. So one other way that we have really good supports on this team, I would say Yoger, Nezglect, and the Frog are probably tied for probably the best supports in the game. The fights here, they happen a bit fast, so I'll try to comment on them as much as I can, but in the early game, it's nothing too special. The farmers are kind of annoying because they heal up. I'm focusing on taking out one enemy at a time just so I don't get overwhelmed by their damage. And then the next enemy I have to take out is the corn, most likely, because the corn likes to shackle us and make it so we have a really bad time next turn. Just like Gustav is shackled. Nope, looks like I take out the farmer because I just have the damage with Sylvie and 15 sharp and some powerful. Yeah, like I said, Sylvie is very strong in the early game, so even though it's a less good Sylvie, it's still very, very good. Inner Fire, I was wondering whether I should be taking that to apply powerful to either Nezglect himself or Sylvie. I do decide to take it just to test it out, because I know we're lacking a little bit on powerful in the early game. Camouflage, multi-shot, really good stuff. It does a lot of damage. This fight's very easy because it's not a champion fight, it's just the Rescue Betty fight. So, really good one for us. I do manage to get uproot with Gustav. I don't know how good this Revealing Flask is. I take a look at it. It doesn't seem that strong. It doesn't have high base damage, but it does apply a lot of sight. The thing is like, applying a lot of sight is nice, but for 3 cost, it's not that great since later in the run, you'll just have a lot of good sight application anyways by like on hit things. So, and by Nezglect just playing skills. So, yeah, not that strong. There you go, we have the premium meat, really buffing up Sylvie Sharp that we applied on her early. The Frog will be able to go round 2 and apply more Sharp on Sylvie. It's always very nice. So she's got 19 Sharp in this round 2. Very strong start. Takes out pretty much everybody by herself. I wanted to leave the farmer alive, but forgot that Nezglect was going to kill with the sheep because I wanted him to die to bleed. But we get a purple Betty. You could argue it's better to take it on the Frog here and then get Oculi for Nezglect since he has the most sight application charges. Possibly what I should have done because that was a purple Betty, but I decided just to get it on Nezglect anyway. So, it's guess we didn't have to buy Betty, but it's not that bad. Very cheap. The pig fight here is always very easy. I like fighting it. I hate going into here because we get the burn in our deck. But it's usually not too much of a problem for this first fight, so we get a little bit of a chance to heal up. It's the next fights that are kind of rough, and I should try to heal up Yoger as much as possible, because as you can see, he's taking a bit of a beating. We're usually finishing around round 2, so sometimes with Sylvie, you can finish round 1 a lot of the time in the early act, if you power her up right, but we weren't quite doing that. Scavenge is a very good card for the Frog. Scavenge is a very good card in general. It's kind of like another just free card of whatever you wanted to pick up out of your graveyard. So, quite strong. Yoger takes a beating straight away. I'm glad he doesn't die, though he is so slow that he's not going to be able to go before him if I can't speed him up. But fortunately, I'm able to do that. We have the Super Song where we get rid of slow and we speed up Yoger, so he at least will get to block for the team. Nezglect does get a little bit of a heal off as well. But his chances of survival are 0 because he dies right there. It's likely I'll have to redo this fight because things are looking kind of grim. I don't really want to lose a hero if I can afford not to. Especially in the early game, because if we don't hit level 2, or sorry, not level 2, well, is it level 2? No, I think it's just level 1. If we don't hit level 1 before we do the boss fight down here, it can be very challenging, and it might actually just be the end of the run. Because we might not have the damage output, especially with Death's Doors in other people's decks. So, it's probably better to redo the fight, honestly. Yeah, especially with Gustav dying there. I need to do that a bit better. Also right there, I just showed it off a little bit. We do have the Sight Remove Stealth perk. Very handy to have in a lot of situations, especially if we're not doing too much mark. Because Nezglect, he applies Sight to the entire enemy team when he plays a skill at level 3 or 2. Gosh, I'm getting all the levels mixed up. But yeah, at level 2, so basically in the middle of next act, he'll be doing that, and we'll have a good option. Yeah, okay, so I took out the squirrel here first, because I think I realized that was slowing me down too much. I'm surprised I didn't attack the boar more. I guess there's a reason for that. Did I think he was powering them up? I thought I had the energy. That's weird. Sorry, got sidetracked on my plays. I'm like, what was I doing? But if I can keep Gustav alive, that's all I really want to do. So I need to kill the pig, and I need to kill. Sorry, I need to kill both pigs. But I failed to do that. I think here I'm just gonna go for the heal, and yeah, I let 2 people die. Very, very rough start here. I take a purple shiv because it actually has decent base damage, lets me hit anybody for 0. It's not a ranged attack, so it doesn't work with Tempest, but Purple Tempest isn't what it once was, and we're not even going for Purple Tempest anyway. We do manage to level up, though, on 2 of our characters that pass the check, so Yogur and Sylvie. Very important characters to level up, and Yogur gets a good meat support. Sylvie gets a good damage increase by making the enemy have reduced resistances, and it applies Sight when they attack. Basically, the rule was if it applied Sight when, if it applied Sight at all, we should take it as part of the character grouping. I don't know if there's another better hero outside of Nezglect and Sylvie. The frog's really good at support, and it can apply a good amount of Sight as well. I'm not sure if there's a warrior I'm missing for that Sight application. These fire guys aren't too much of a problem. They're always like a sort of medium fight to me. They're pretty good at what they do. There's the Mind Visions taking away 60 HP off of that summoner, which is really nice. The bruisers up front hit pretty hard, and the summoners are really annoying, so you have to take them out first, letting the bruisers deal a bunch of damage. It's a little bit of a tricky fight to navigate sometimes. Not too bad if you're used to it, but yeah. We're taking them out no problem. Nezglect gets a really nice Mind Visions here. We're picking up setup on Gustav. You can almost never have enough setups, so especially when they're upgraded and free. That one wasn't upgraded, but I can upgrade it there. We do take Night Gaze on... shoot, what's it called? We take Night Gaze on Nezglect. I'm not sure that that's actually like the best move, because Night Terrors does apply Sight when you deal damage. As well as Darkness. But I wanted to try it out. This applies a bunch of Sight as well, and it makes a really big turn sometimes, and I really wanted Nezglect to be a good damage dealer, sort of on par with Sylvie. It's hard to make the case because he's not going to get boosted by Sharp this run, given that I'm going Sharp isn't going to boost mind damage because I'm not going for that passive on Gustav. I'm instead going for the songs cost less, so I can just play as many as possible. I'm curious if repetition training is going to be a good on Yogur. I figure he'll probably have an attack or 2 somewhere down the line, and it'll be good to be able to make cheaper or just replay it if I need to. Yeah, not too tough of a fight. Pretty good. We get rid of the broken bones. It's a really nice free heal. We got the sack of grain. access to a rare equipment shop if we wanted it, but we're not because we're kind of poor. And here's where the sight removing stealth is very nice. We have a few ways to apply sight to more people. The frog just did it a little bit. He only has 1 stealth charge now in the back. Nesglect gave him the full 4 stealth charges, and unfortunately we couldn't hit him, so he does do a good hit on Sylvie, but it's actually not that bad. And Yoger's doing a pretty good job blocking for us enough that I'm not really in danger. Now that we have melodic rhythm as well, we're going to be healing up a really solid amount with Gustav. So, before it felt like we had like half a healer in Gustav, and now it feels like we have a full healer. And Nesglect's our half a healer. So we got Mind Visions doing a ton of damage. It's really nice just to be able to target one person and take them out with that upgraded Mind Visions. It's definitely the key to this run succeeding, at least the way that I want it to. But yeah, team's working out very nicely. I didn't do the kill here because I wanted maximum heals off of Nesglect, just in case we need it for the next fight. The frog is, yeah, thinking about Song of Celerity. Yoger gets his items. We get a purple Yoger's Cleaver. I think it's kind of good. I want to pick it up on somebody, but like Yoger's the most sensible person for it. I do want War Banner, but unfortunately Gustav already has a really good War Drum, or sorry, Song Drum, where it reduces the cost of something every turn. So I feel like I have to keep that, even though War Banner's really good. We get Purple Wolfie here. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I bought Wolfie a while ago. But yeah, with Yoger, I feel like it's almost always worth it to buy Wolfie just for that purple. He applies Vulnerable and Slow every turn, which is exactly what I want my Yoger to be doing. Unless he's like super Yoger carry, then maybe you don't do it, but I don't know. It's just a lot of damage. Yeah, I do end up feeling like the Chilling Gaze might not have been the best pick. It does give you that +1 sight charge for that turn, but overall it feels a little bit weaker compared to the reduced resistances debuff you could apply. So yeah, I'm sure you could do a sight run differently than I'm doing, and it could be a little bit better. The Dryad here, I'm not focusing because I know my quick shots will take it out. We have the reduced resistances there on the tree, and Nesglect's doing some good damage as well. So it's round 2. Usually if you can kill him before round 3, that's a really good sign. Or if you can just tank round 3, which I'm very confident we can at full health with some block. We don't have a lot of block, but with some block and some healing and full health, you can usually tank a Moonfire Blast and then just heal up next round. But don't even have to do that. We kill him before he can do it. So, pretty good sign that the team's doing well. Tactical Thinking is an interesting card. Not exactly what I want for Sylvie, though. It might have been better for Gustav. But Gustav gets Volley, which I would have liked to grab on Sylvie. You know, it's always the classic where you take 2 characters of the same class and they get the cards each other wants. It never feels that great, but it's bound to happen. And of course, they get cards they want to time to time. It's not like it's a one-way street, but it's a little bit of a feels bad. We do need to take care of that one injury in Gustav's deck. Serenity Ring seems pretty cool, but I do want to pick up some more pets. We have the Purple Wolfie. I do want Oculi. It will help us take out Hexproof if we really want to do that. Gustav, I'm not really feeling like he's doing too much damage at this point, which makes sense because I didn't build him to do a bunch of damage at this point, so we're leaning far into his support role. The multi-shot I still want to keep because I want some AoE if I don't get Volley. I do also always want to keep Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire is necessary for the single target damage that we have to do bosses and the like. Sylvie is still by far our best damage dealer. Though Nesglect's helping in that role. Mind Blast I need to get rid of. Mental Shakes are just better. Which is funny because normally Mind Blast is like the thing that you want for Insanity build on Nesglect. This is not Insanity. This is Sight. Chant of Accuracy, I could think about upgrading. I'm trying to be really careful about how I use my shards here. A lot of the times you want a Entrench, which would give Fortify to everybody. But I'm not sure that I can afford to play that in Yoger's deck at this point, and I'm not really applying enough block. Yeah, here I am looking at Entrench. So I feel like Battle Shout might just be better. I was looking to see if any way to make it cheaper. No, like it's not really what he does. At least not in the route that I'm going for the meat support. Him having the leather boots is actually kind of relevant, but he's not fast enough to go faster than a lot of the guys, so him also just surviving in the early game I felt was going to be more relevant with the, what's it called there? The reinforcement starting at 2 at the start of combat. Pretty good pickup, like as far as the cheap armor goes. Scavenge is worth a lot more upgraded because it doesn't put it on top of your deck, puts it into your hand instead if you want. Sweet Melodies, it's fun to actually use these and keep them in deck. They're a really good heal spell since they have the 2 Dispel and 3 if you upgrade them and they vanish from your deck. That's very, very solid. Not a lot of things have that level of Dispel for only 2 cost. It's basically like getting heal and regen on top of a Dispel for that 1 extra energy. Which is going to be even cheaper when Gustav gets songs costing less. Here we're getting rid of some Mind Blasts. We pick up another Mind Visions, because Mind Visions really is the best way of scaling damage in Nezglect's deck. I do want to apply more Sight, but Sylvie should take care of that with her passive, as should Nezglect. So I'm not worried about it too much. I'm trying to see if small weapons on Gustav could be a way that he gets the potion vial that we saw earlier in a cheap sort of manner. Because I want him to be able to apply a bunch of sight, and so actually a fat base sight on Gustav might be good support for Sylvie and Nezglect. And since he's going before 4 of them, or both of them, he could apply like 12 sight by himself to a monster, which would up Nezglect's damage by like 36 with his yellow mind visions. So, could be very solid support. We get the opportunity for a purple Ballad of Conquest, which I was very worried about because we're fighting a bunny here and I knew they were going to go first with their entire team. So, very scary fight. They don't wipe anyone though. I feel like we're fairly lucky in that regard. So, as long as we don't get wiped our first round and we heal up enough in our second round or take an enemy out, I'm feeling fairly confident. However, it doesn't look like we're getting close to taking an enemy out. And the enemy generally has to be the bunny because it's just going to spawn a bunch next turn. So yeah, we can do 81, but it's just not enough. Bunny gets to go again, but we do have Yogur going before them, and they don't speed up the entire team again, which I don't know if it is RNG dependent, but if it is, and they could have sped up the entire team, we might have just lost the run right there. Would have been very brutal. Or we would have had a few deaths at least, because we would have had to take out another enemy, and then they would have spawned bunnies. Very painful. I don't like bunny fights. They're scary. They ruined me on the last solo run that I did, too. You know, bunnies are just my bane in many ways in this game. Very fun when you first fight them, though, from that, like, legendary event in the snowy area. Here a Scourge Beetle appears. I don't think Scourge Beetles give you any benefit. I think they're just pure badness. They just get in your way and deal a bunch of damage. So, yeah, fun stuff. This holy Obelisk is also a little bit scary. He applied us so much Sanctify that the enemy was healing up quite a bit, as was he. So, if we do eventually grind out the fight, it's very worth it for this Purple Ballad of Conquest. We have the upgraded Expected Prophecy pickup there too. Oh yeah, by the way, something very important to do for Nezglect, I think just in general. If you're going down the skill route where you refund a energy on playing a skill, you want to keep the Expected Prophecies in your deck because they help you filter so much, which means that you also want them to be as good as possible, but they kind of suck until you get that Ferk at level 1 because they help you filter, but your energy is at very much a premium. So upgrading them makes them a lot less bad, especially the lower cost cards you have in deck because you can play more. There's that Purple Ballad coming into play. I think that's a Purple Ballad. I'm not sure. Very strong. So we're doing good damage as always. We got Mind Visions going. I think Nezglect can do this. Yeah, perfect. Omen of Peril would be great if Nezglect was going healing, but not normally what he does anyway. The arena I'm not too afraid of. I'm fairly certain that we have enough single target damage between Nezglect and Sylvie, and we have enough to survive some rough hits. So this team is like, I want to say pretty balanced. It's not grindy like other teams will be, in the sense that like you can take a lot of turns in a row and let the fights go long, but it doesn't have to be because it's not so slow as like a grindy team. It's got that very much of a middle ground where it's not going to kill round 1, but it's not going to die round 2. I want to say that's how it feels most of the time. Just, I guess like a very particular feeling, maybe that only comes across if you like play too much of this game. But yeah, Too Much Madness 16, I'm like, yeah, there's round 1 teams, there's round like 4 teams, and then there's round like 2 and 3 teams. That's sort of what it feels like. Yeah, those Mind Visions doing work now. Nesglect's getting a lot of damage off. We're applying a lot of sight with all our guys, so I want to say the small weapons is working out pretty well. The amount of vulnerability we're able to apply with Yogur is working out well as well. And yeah, Sylvie's just doing great damage like always. She's doing probably like at least 150 on her first turn, it feels like, if she has a kind of rough first turn. And Nesglect, it really depends, because he needs to draw either Chilling Gaze or Mind Visions to do good damage. We don't quite get the kill on the Sorcerer there, so it's a little bit rough. The sausages are healing bleed and also giving us regen is very nice. The sharp addition from Yogur is also coming to play. Sylvie's, as you can see, she's constantly getting up to max powerful. The extra bless on her helps a lot too, and yeah, she just does so much damage. So I get the option between Blood Rage and Entrench there. I figure like if I take Entrench, I can't really play it much unless I have Blood Rage. So my plan is get Blood Rage, eventually take Entrench, and that'll help me in the future. Yeah, we haven't leveled up yet, so I was a little bit worried about this fight, but not like I said, I felt fairly confident we could do this. I do have Bloodbath on Yogur. I figured that's going to be my attack of choice that I repetition training, because Sylvie is going to be applying a lot of bleed on hit, as well as a lot of sight on hit, but the bleed on hit is what we care about. So Yogur might be able to do some good damage after he's kind of gone through his whole support role in the much later boss fights. It won't be a ton, but if you can do like 400, 500 damage, that's certainly worth it for a card. Sylvie just makes quick work. I think that, God, was that round 1 or round 2? Round 2. I should have been paying closer attention. We get the level up here, which is very nice because you don't always get a level up before the next fight after the arena. But now we have the perk, so I'm very confident we could beat these guys, but not so confident that I felt like I could take that challenge. I didn't want to risk it too much, especially because these storm guys can dish out a ton of damage, and they have they actually have 3 archers. Oh my gosh, I forgot the Harpy's an archer too. Yeah, the archers do a ton of damage in AoE usually as well, so depends on their turns, but it can be very scary. As you can see, the Harpy tries to stealth. Doesn't really matter to my team, so Find Weakness is another good pickup for Gustav. It applies Sight, applies Vulnerable, applies Mark. Very good stuff. Yeah, the rest is just setting up. I do like the speed dynamic between Yogur, Gustav, Sylvie, and Nesglect. I would say it'd probably be a slightly better team if somehow Nesglect was faster than Sylvie, but that's really hard to pull off given their base speed differences, and also given that you want Sylvie to be kind of fast. Yeah, Sylvie's not even needing to play most of her hand. We get a Ballad of Conquest again on the frog. I'm trying to remember his actual name. Gustav, thank you. Yeah, all right, Gustav, we're good. So yeah, get another ballad on Gustav. We're going to be wanting at least a few of those. The purple one disappears from the deck. We want one that stays in the deck for sure, so we probably want it to be upgraded. We might even want 3 battle ballads by the end, because the goal is just to play like 3 battle ballads or 4 battle ballads if we can get like a Mirror of Cassandra or something in a single turn. Or sorry, Ballad of Conquest, that's actually what they're called. I've been calling them wrong about this entire time. Sorry about that. Not actually too sorry. Gosh, Sylvie's just a monster at this point, and that's without Tempest. Yeah. Gustav, very good support. Basically gives Sylvie everything she needs to thrive. So I see a Diamond Ring here. This is actually kind of a hard choice. We have Madness Ring, which allows us to apply a lot more sight. Obviously, we're taking Tempest on Sylvie. We got a Longbow earlier just to help us grind out the earlier fights. I think it did help quite a bit. But it wasn't, like, super necessary. And Tempest is obviously going to be amazing because we're going to get sharp from it. Yeah, Yogur doesn't have much to grab here other than probably Diamond Ring just for the tankiness, because we need him to survive as much as possible. Divination Orb versus Madness Ring. It's hard to say which one is better right now. Madness Ring is good, although there's a lot of sight rings that they like apply bleed. Is probably something I'd be looking at, or fire if you pick them up, and that's per sight charge. Whereas Madness Ring just gives you more sight more quickly. It's probably better for now, but it's likely to be replaced. Whereas Divination Orb is also probably likely to be replaced, but I'd have to find a good weapon for it. So, Yogur getting a lot tougher though. Can't say no to that. I like Diamond Ring for that purpose. He did have trouble in Act 1 dying. He hasn't been having too much trouble this act, but it's been kind of close. We do get the extra Bless pickup on Gustav, which, you know, it's fine. It's not like the most amazing thing. It's a little bit of extra healing, though, and a little bit of extra Bless can't hurt, right? Giving Sylvie maximum damage is what we want. So already we're doing 52 damage shot with the multi-shot. I really should have waited on playing the other attacks. I kind of just forgot I was going to get sharp from each attack I play now. So at this point we do want to get rid of the Chant of Accuracies in Sylvie's deck. We should be doing that next act. Bad Auguries are just for that sight application. See, we're getting 213 damage on the front boy, but it's still not enough to take him out. And the fact that the Mind Visions dispels the sight is kind of rough. So yeah, that's the other thing about the yellow Mind Visions, is if it doesn't kill, you dispel all the sight, which ruins all your progress. We do also have the perk, by the way, where sight does not get dispelled unless specifically specified, which is really good in the later stages because you want your build-up of debuffs to apply or stay on enemies. Not that it's really a debuff, other than the fact that I forgot to mention this too, but it does reduce the resistances of the monsters or it reduces the piercing resistances of monsters. So at 100 sight, that's minus 30% piercing resist, meaning Sylvie does kind of like plus 30% more damage. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure if that's actually how it works. Mind Twist isn't quite worth it. Bad Augury also isn't quite worth it. I could get a upgraded Heavy Belt here. These are actually quite like interesting choices. Stone Amulet could be really good for Yogur in the future to get the Fortify charges. I'm leaning towards that right now, but Hunter's Ring could also be kind of good if I wanted to go more of a mark route. Gustav doesn't really have a lot of mark, but I could get that on him. The rest of these I don't really need. Heavy Belt's cool, but not necessary. A Super Adrenaline on Sylvie is great because it'll allow her to play more barrages in the future. She has a really easy time drawing through her deck with the Tempest. Draws her 3 extra cards for her attacks, so it's pretty good. I am kind of sad we can't get Purple Tempest anymore, or rather, the Purple Tempest only gives you like 2 more attack draws, which is like obviously still very good, but not as OP as infinite draws. No, I liked having OP purple weapons, but it makes sense now that you can kind of guarantee it that they'd have to nerf it. It was sort of just the best thing to go grab. I don't know, maybe have to nerf it's a strong a strong wording. You don't have to do that. There's Push Forward. I was really looking for that on Yogur, so we're getting really good card luck on this run. There's a Revealing Flask. I'm just going to take it to try it out. I take a Volley on Sylvie as well because I'm not really sure if I'm going to be spending too much on an AoE attack for her next turn. We don't have the D-Shackle Helping Hands yet, which is a bit unfortunate because it means Sylvie is going to guarantee go last for round 2, but it's actually pretty fortunate for round 1 because we get to buff her up as much as possible with Neglect, and by buff her up I mean just give her more card draw with Clarity and the like. So yeah, we do want to make sure that our premium meat goes on Sylvie, though she doesn't have a lot of charges just yet. This is very much a turn 2 team, given that Battle to Conquest like requires turn 2 stanza on Gustav, and that's our best way to power people up. I might be able to de-shackle her with Sweet Melody, but I figure it's not really worth it. He's gonna heal, and if I couldn't kill him, then it was just not worth doing. Yogur nearly dies, despite a diamond ring. Does he still have the diamond ring? I can't remember. No, I think I picked up the Fortify ring. So you know what? That's what it was. Didn't have the Fortify ring. Still, we kill him with an excellent rating. Potentially could have taken Protect from Evil there. Felt like I didn't need it. Last Stand's great. Brass Amulet's just really good, and I feel like that's the best on Gustav because it gives him +1 sharp, and he's applying that to the entire team. Avoidance Color is a great way to never die. And Overheat is a great way to maintain powerful. So there's a lot of good options here. I think Brass Amulet is also pretty good on Sylvie though, even though Gustav's applying it to the entire team. Sylvie's really the only one who cares about it. And Sylvie does give herself Sharp with Tempest, so I think it's pretty worth it on her. I didn't really know where I wanted to go after this. My Act 3 was kind of like not sure. I did take a bit of a break and came straight back. Cutting this footage together. Emerald Staff is interesting. With the cost of 5 reduced by 3 though, it's kind of difficult to use because there's not a lot of things that like cost 5 for the site build. There's another Serenity Ring. Again, we're applying enough regen that it might be a valid blocking mechanism for Gustav. Here, we're just getting rid of the Chant of Accuracies in Sylvie's deck. Don't really need them anymore. I am getting rid of Shiv as well because Shivs don't draw me cards. Other than, I'm keeping the purple Shiv because it just has a really good base damage compared to Quick Shots. I think it's maybe equal to Quick Shots, but the ability to target any enemy with it is very nice. Because often you don't want to hit that front enemy. So yeah, just a few deck edits here. Push forward's great. So happy I picked that up. Should allow us to speed up the entire team. That's why I kept the speed charges on Yogur. Really trying to figure out whether I want to buy another Ballad of Conquest or just upgrade the ones I have. I know I also want to upgrade the setup because setup isn't quite as good. Just base, it's actually just not that good at all. For the same reasons that the Visions card on Nezglect isn't that good. Or the draw card for Nezglect, it just kind of does the same thing. Draw 3, put 1 on top, or 2 on top. Nets you kind of a 0, but costs an energy to do so. The choice is nice. Expected Prophecies, those are the cards. So yeah, trying to make the decks as thin as possible. I'm really not sure what to get rid of. You can see my inexperience with the build. Like, I've played Sight before, but long ago on much lower Madness levels and without all the perks and stuff. So this is my first time coming back to it in a while. Kind of feeling like it was just gonna be very good, which it was. So yeah, still figuring things out from there. It's nice to have a volley in Sylvie's deck though, because we can get the stealth damage up on the volley. Rain of Arrows is another good thing to get. If I could get upgraded Rain of Arrows, it actually might be even more worth it to have that 7 cost apply more Sharp for Sylvie each time, as well as the slightly higher base damage. Probably could get rid of that Rapid Fire and Volley if I do pick up Rain of Arrows and have the energy to play it. My main concern is actually not having the energy to play it because Nezglect is the only one who really gives energy there. And I don't think I can have, what's it called? I don't think I could have reliable energy round 1 if I try to do it with Gustav. Sorry, my mind kind of blanked there for a second. I had to replay the music. Alright, so yeah, still looking through, like I said, taking a lot of time on the deck builds because I need the time to figure things out. Another push forward wouldn't be the worst idea. I could then get rid of my other barricade. I don't rely on it for too many things, but now that I have Last Stand, it does let me take Entrench, which I do find is probably going to be the most worthwhile thing. I finally upgrade the Repair Armor, which I should have done at the beginning of last act, but I forgot to. I do want to make the Last Stand make the cards cost 0, so that Yogur can play Entrench more easily, because as it stands, he still won't have enough energy if he doesn't get any energy buffs. I'll say that's probably the one weakness of this team. With the way I have it laid out, there's not a lot of ways to give Energize to people. Gustav, maybe if he gets like a legendary Energizing Serenade at the very end, could pump people up. Nezglect could do delay responses, but I wanted him focused as much as possible on the site, so I think I give him 1. We have Exploit Openings here, so I am planning to try out the Exploit Openings Bloodbath combo with Yogur. So hopefully we get those both round 2 and not round 1, because round 1 he wants to apply Vulnerable and Slow. The route I'm picking here is kind of just like, I want to go a route that I haven't been yet, and I want it to be not too hard, but there are bunnies on both routes that I haven't gone yet, so my luck's kind of out for that. Nezglect's almost dead immediately. It's a very scary start. Piercing Howl is pretty good. I do have a Shake It Off for the Dispel on Yogur. We are going to be able to keep him Nezglect alive with Melodic Rhythm and Gustav very nicely. Very luckily, I should say. This would be a good turn for volley, except that they all have evasion, so pretty rough start. But at least Nezglek's going to be able to heal and hopefully keep Yogur alive. I don't expect him to stay for too much longer, but we did get up to 100 sight on the bunny. Sadly, we didn't have the triple damage one, otherwise we could have killed it. We just had the base damage one, but still, really, really solid. Yeah. And also, thankfully, we survive another turn. I don't know why that turn was just like so not damaging on round 2, but they all just kind of didn't attack me very much. Like, I felt like they all just buffed, and that wasn't what they should have done. They should have just gone for the kill. Luckily for me, I didn't die. That means Nezglek's going to be able to heal us up to full, probably with the help of Gustav as well. Getting a lot of premium meat luck too. We're almost at 50 sharp with Sylvie. That's round 2. Sadly, she wasn't at 50 sharp before going, but still, pretty darn good. We'll be able to get a great, and that's going to be a good amount of experience and card luck for us. Double Ballad of Conquest feels very nice. We're at 50 sharp with Sylvie, max powerful, 12 bless. So much damage. A purple adrenaline for Gustav, don't mind if I do. I do take an upgraded delay response too, because I'm noticing that energy is a bit of a problem, and Sylvie's going to need it. I felt like maybe I could do Armageddon. I'm not sure how many upgrades I really want, but I do have an upgrade target in each deck, so it would be kind of good. It's just a very scary thing to take on. I do go for it though. Thankfully, I knew that I would outspeed 2 of them, so that I could kind of what's the word? There's definitely a premise in the fights where if you can go in between the enemies, it's even better than going all before them, because if you have healing, it means you can heal up and block the rest of the damage. And yeah, if you're mostly block focused, it's definitely better to go all before them. But with healers, it's usually better to go in the middle, because they do damage, then you heal back up to full, and then they do the rest of their damage, and you survive the turn just fine. So, yeah. Nezglek at this point, he's not having too many energy problems himself. That turn was just a little bit rough in general. Armageddon's definitely hurting me quite a bit this fight, but I have confidence I'm going to be able to take them all out. Yogur does die. I probably should have focused more on actually making sure the rest of them died. This is the second time Yogur's died this fight, or this run. Smoke Bomb's interesting. Applying stealth to everybody is pretty good. I could make Nezglek do more damage, potentially, but I'm not going to take it. Sorry, Melik. It's just not what I'm doing right now. Melik is always a proponent of Smoke Bomb. He likes the massive stealth. Yeah, so we meet up with Yogur's buddy. We get some money from it. It's kind of nice. It's not that big. I don't know what that was supposed to do. I mess it up anyways, so not the best start. Thankfully, Yogur survives. Yogur's just been taking a beating this entire time. Getting both Battle of Conquest there is kind of rough as well. It is making it so that I have to what's it called? Use Scavenge in the later stages. If I draw both Ballad of Conquest and Scavenge, then you know the game just hates me, because then I can't play Ballad of Conquest round 2. At least I think that's how it works. Here, Yogur actually going last. I was pretty confident that he wasn't going to be able to kill the front guy, but looking at it now, I could have had exploit openings, and I could have had him kill this sea monster in front of us. Kind of silly that I didn't, especially because I get disarmed. So Sylvie couldn't really do much there. Getting disarmed is very bad for her. There's my Scavenge on Purple Ballad of Conquest, though. I can't quite dispel her enough to get rid of the disarm either, so I'm just going to have to live with it, and Nezglek's going to have to be dealing the damage. We are sped up enough. I forgot to mention Yogur's healing in the form of Vitality is also doing wonders for us. So we have sort of like a 2 half healers in Nezglek and Yogur, and 1 kind of mainline healer in Gustav, even though he's not really the best healer without the melodic rhythm. He just doesn't have access to the same healer cards. So yeah, there's another round of, now I have 10 energy on Sylvie, it's great, but it doesn't really do anything for me until the 4th round. God, that's so brutal. This armor is rough. But if I'm lucky enough here, I could potentially kill everybody with Nezglek. Just doesn't feel like I'm lucky enough here. I do get the kills though. Okay, that's not bad. I can't complain too much. Again, another turn we can't play Battle of Conquest. Divine Power is another way to get Energized and Blessed, but I take an Expected Prophecy instead because it's just more card draw. Healing Serenade, I was noticing, I was like, yeah, man, I'm really sucking at healing, but now I shouldn't as much, so pretty good. Turban actually starting with Sharp Seal is pretty good. I don't have an armor yet on Sylvie, so I figured that's a very nice start. Could get Lapis Necklace on Yogur. There's an argument for going more speed on him. Just so that I always start first and don't have this stuff happen to me where they buff up the entire team. But I wanted to keep the fortified charges, and I'm hoping to get a speed up armor on him in the future. It's just sort of a luck gamble thing that I'm trying out. Should pay off usually on most runs. There's a lot of speed armors. Sylvie, again, just getting up to 26 sharp, round 1, very solid. She's able to take one out by herself. Getting a Chilling Gaze is very nice. I need more zero cost attacks, I'm realizing, with Chilling Gaze, because Nesglyte just doesn't have the energy in the early game. Still, good amount of damage. He almost takes out the Golem, who's a very tanky character. And then my entire team almost dies, and I get disarmed once again. Or the entire team gets disarmed. It's very brutal, but thankfully this time I'm able to dispel it with Gustav, or at least, no, it didn't dispel it, it's just one stack of disarm, so it goes away immediately. Weird. I didn't even know they could do only one stack. These guys, though, they're going to go down fairly easily. As long as you can survive the next turn from the Minotaur, I think it's okay, but if he does his AoE attack, I'm in trouble, and I need Yogur to go faster than he is going. So we'll see if that works out. I do manage to get entrenched though, so very lucky for me that I get enough block, and yeah, it wasn't an AoE turn from him, so we survived just fine. I want to heal up as much as possible because we were in dire straits, so I'm really focusing on that more than anything, more than buffing and finishing the fight faster, because at this point I'm fairly confident with the entrench we'll have enough block that we can take him out, but Sylvie's able to do it. I felt like I had enough heal. It's very good. Shield Slam is a nice AoE slow for 4. Can be very good. It's just very expensive. Not sure. I'm always tempted by the purple one, so I do end up taking it here. And thankfully we get a remove card, which is just what I wanted, because Yogur keeps dying. Expected Prophecies, I do take out. We get the level up though. I take out 1 because it's a little bit too much. Faded Future is very good, but it doesn't apply Sight. Hawkeye applies Sight, but it's very bad. So I'm getting the... On the Sight team, yes, I'm getting the... what's it called? Double shot, because it's just so much better. And in some ways, because I'm applying Sight on hit, it does allow me to apply more Sight than the Hawkeye. And the Hawkeye just applies Sight and Bleed, and to be fair, like by the end of the game, we're going to have too much Sight on everybody anyways. Like, I know that we're going to get to 100, so like... That's not going to be that impactful compared to doubling up an attack. Yeah, we do the Jhin there. I think you have to go the other route. I have seen that like there's clues on what you can do at the Jhin, but I've never gone to him after getting those clues, where you can get a decent outcome. But man, I was not expecting a card stuck in my deck that was that severe of a debuff in every hero's deck. That was pretty brutal. I wished for his freedom before, and then he was like, what makes you think I'm not free? And then he put stuff in my deck too, so I think either way, just visiting the Jhin is rough. Innervate's great because it's a energize and regen, so I as much as I want to make Nesglyte do damage, I also need him to give energy to himself and everybody else, because I don't have any other ways of doing that currently. So yeah, it's a rough balancing act between going supporting Nesglyte and going damaging Nesglyte. Again, this is more of the site application team, so it's not entirely that I want Nesglyte to be the carry. I think if you do want him to be the carry, it's better to just go with the Gustav and Nesglyte combo carry, where Nesglyte could actually benefit off of sharp damage as well and synergize with his kit quite nicely. There we go. I'm able to speak. It's 48 minutes into the run, or maybe a little bit longer actually. So yeah, my voice is getting a little bit tired, but that's okay. Speaking kind of fast. I also go for the double songs on Gustav, because like I said, I want to be playing 4 battle ballads if I can in a single turn. That just gives you so much sharp, so much bless that the damage becomes overwhelming from even characters that aren't super damaging. Like, Bad Auguries are doing some decent damage off of Nesglect. Man, look at all those debuffs on us. I do have to take out that Lamia in back because she does silence. The next most terrifying guy to me is the guy in front, I think, because he does really good damage. I'm actually like trying to remember if he does do... Oh, did I die to the thorns? Wait, what? Why did I restart that fight? I did end up upgrading my last hand, by the way. I didn't go over that when it happened, but my entrench and anything else I grab are now costing 0 if I manage to get them with last stand, and I don't have too many defense cards left in my deck outside of like repair armor, so it's a pretty good start. Yeah, it was the thorns. I think I killed myself on Sylvie. Thorns are such a pain. Let's see if Sanctify, then thorns don't matter. So yeah, in this case I actually want... Okay, no, this isn't the silencing Lamia, by the way. This is the just marking and debuffing one. I think they have like a purge attack that they do where they purge like 5 off a character. Quite annoying, although we do have the anti-purge perk on Sharp, so they have to specify purging Sharp if they want to remove it. We are able to get up to 46 Sharp with Sylvie, so she does do a lot of damage each hit. Gustav dies. It's a bit rough, but I'm willing to accept it as long as we can get the kill without anybody else dying. 474 damage, pretty solid on the front guy there. I can apply more sight by playing skills, so got up to the 493 for basically free. Just filtering with the deck a little bit more. We have the Chilling Gaze going. We killed 2 people. Nesglect dies off of the thorns. Thorns are just being extremely brutal for me. I almost die on Sylvie. If I can, I'd like to survive, so I do. And man, that was just a rough fight overall. We are in dire straits. But we have to do the boss battle here. Fortunately, I don't think this is too hard of a boss battle, as long as you're not on max sandbox mode. But yeah. We'll see if I do more max sandbox in the future. That was pretty fun. Pretty silly. But he doesn't have 4,400 health, so... And this is Act 3, not Act 2, so should be able to do pretty well. I'm good at AoE damage right now as well. I don't have the most amount of Sharp and Powerful I could have had that turn, but it was still pretty good. We have at least a reason to search through people's decks and get frightened, so that's also nice. The Chosen One does apply Sight every time I play a spell, so it does incentivize me to put even more spells in my deck. I do manage to get rid of one of his summons, so thankfully it means I survive the turn. And then the Lich actually goes after his summon, so we get that chance to heal up like I was talking about earlier. We have the Entrench here, max Sharp, repair armor, yeah, so now we're actually getting some decent block every turn. Like, it's not amazing, but for one character who's also applying buffs and debuffing the enemy, it's pretty good block. Like, I'll definitely take it. Chilling Gaze, doing a lot of damage here. We got the Anthem of Hopes as well. Anthem of Hope is very good on Nesglect because it costs essentially 1 for him to play. It gives everybody courage and everybody inspire. So he's turning more and more into the support damage hybrid, meaning he probably won't do the most. We actually managed to pick up a relatively early barrage on Sylvie, so really good luck there. Now here's some energized stuff, and like I know that I need energy, but I don't want to give up most of my rings because most of my rings are good. Sapphire Ring could be very good. There's an argument to take it on Sylvie, but I do want the extra Sharp on her because it's been very nice having her get to fast Sharp. I take Mind Tome rather than All-Seeing Eye because, I don't know, I figured I need the extra draw on Nesglect to play more spells. We are going to have to... Ooh, what's going on here? Taking a little bit of pause, I guess. I do want to buy Power Coil. I really want to buy Power Coil. It's so frustrating that it shows up. I also want to buy the Clairvoyant Scroll and the Scrying Staff, but I have to get rid of all these injuries and deaths if I want like a chance at the future here. So yeah, I'm very sad about giving up on Power Coil, but I need to edit my decks. It's almost worth it to grab it to me though, because it ups the amount of powerful you can have, meaning Sylvie could get up to plus 70% more damage than she was already doing, and we're applying so much powerful that I have no doubt she'd reach that cap. Yeah, that would have been very nice. Still, editing the deck's definitely the most consistent way to go forward here. We could also still buy the Clairvoyant Scroll or Scrying Staff. Clairvoyant Scroll is just going to be better for the most part than the current telescope that Nezglect has, because he's going to be playing spells every turn. Endless Bag is also very good. Gustav hasn't been running out of energy. He's had enough for most of the time, so would have been a solid one there. There's a Terror Ring, but we don't need that. We're not Dark Run this time. I'm still trying to figure out like what things I should get out of Yogur's deck. He has way too much in his deck. Battle Plan's kind of bad if it's not upgraded, so I want to upgrade it. I still didn't upgrade the setups from last time, so I should upgrade those too. So just going through all my upgrade targets, figuring out what I really need the shards for. I picked up a Barrage, so I'm feeling pretty good about my Sylvie deck. Upgrading that setup is definitely necessary. I should upgrade it or get rid of it. Getting more energy on Sylvie, though, was also pretty necessary, so I picked up an Adrenaline there. But yeah, here's the setup upgrade on Sylvie, there's the setup upgrade on Gustav, and here's the battle plan upgrade, I think. Yeah, there we go. Might as well upgrade these Helping Hands to get rid of Shackles too. Some enemies in the late stages still do Shackles. Feeling pretty good about the decks overall. Would love to upgrade Barrage later, but I'm hoping for a free upgrade if we can. A purple Healing Serenade was very tempting, so I went for it. Even though the blobs... Well, no, the blobs aren't that scary. Though they ended up being kind of scary, because Bellafor got the fire blob of all blobs that he could have gotten. Or sorry, not Bellafor, it's the other name for him. I forget what it is. Anyways, I hate this this Imp Lord because he makes it so that when you play a skill, you get rid of all your draw. Like, he does anti-inspire tech, or I think it's called stress. So, fairly rough, and also not a very good starting turn for me. Everybody plays skills, everybody's going to get the anti-inspire, and I don't do a lot of damage or take anybody out, but thankfully I do get to go a second time. So... we are able to get to Barrage, and we are able to do a ton of damage to the Imp and back. Nezglect currently is going faster than him, so that's all I really need. Is Nezglect to go, and then I'm fairly certain that whatever he draws, he can kill him with. Still, we could also probably kill him with Bloodbath. He's at 77 bleed. So, yeah, Yoga does the damage there. So he's going to die to bleed. Nezglect just needs to focus on killing another person, and we're healing up to full throughout this fight. So I'd say, like, yeah, the deck editing was definitely very worth it. Had we not edited our decks like we did, where we got rid of all our death stores and everything, that fight would have probably been unwinnable. We ran into a sort of rough one straight away. So definitely worth not getting the Power Coil, despite how sad it makes me. Still a little bit salty about it. I should have saved more money, I guess. It's on me. But yeah, Sylvie at maximum sharp is doing like 120 per quick shot. That is also the vulnerable coming into play. That's a Nezglect doing 406 damage with the mind visions there. Very, very solid. Yeah, can't complain too much about that. Here I figure might as well take a little bit of extra shards. We might go for corrupting some cards at the bell. And if we don't, then that's fine too. I haven't even thought about what cards I'd want to corrupt just yet. The Revealing Flask, I haven't felt like it's been that good. I'm giving basically a spell that does damage to Nezglect, but he doesn't have the energy to really play the spell too much. Alright, I guess it's a small weapon, not even a spell really. So yeah, I don't think it's super worth it. And I'm having a hard time playing Chilling Gaze with Nezglect too. I do think that I could do a lot better on the damage front with Nezglect if I decided to really focus on supporting him, but I wasn't super focused on that. Again, this is more of a sight build than anything. The Dark Angel here is sometimes pretty scary, so if they get to go again, they might kill someone on my team because they'll probably pop us. But yeah, Barrage, or sorry, was that Barrage? Yeah, I think that was Barrage. Barrage was just doing an insane amount there, like 300 per shot. Gosh. It feels so good to have like a full team come together with like max sight, reducing all their resistances, the max vulnerability, max on everything else. I do get a bouncing shield there, but we're not a block team. There's another Battle to Conquest. I end up skipping it on Gustav, so decided I didn't need it. I'm trying to think about what cards I could risk here to have go away, because I don't necessarily want to get rid of all my cards. I do want the Barrage to stay in my Sylvie's deck, so I don't want to get rid of that. I think Mind Visions might be the best target for me here. Because, yeah, Mind Vision's purple does not dispel sight. It does the same amount of damage as yellow, while not dispelling sight at all. So, very nice to use the purple and then the yellow to do a big turn of damage of like 900 or 1,000 damage in a single shot, or a single turn. So, super solid for Nuzlocke to get that purple luck there. I say luck because there's always the chance that your card gets corrupted and then you, it turns into a void memory, and then you lose one of the better cards in your deck. So yeah, definitely luck. The front guy, he does a ton of damage when he's a champion mode. He just applies lightning to so many people. He's usually the scariest if you have somebody who's taunting on your team. We do have a massive spell on Nuzlocke too, going more and more into the grindy build up power over time. Man, you can see how much powerful I would have had too if I had a, charge, the power coil. Yeah, I'm still ranting about that a little bit, sorry. I'll stop ranting. Alright, yeah, game's going pretty well overall. We have the one barrage that I feel like we need in Sylvie's deck. She doesn't really need anything else outside of that singular barrage, so probably just best thing we could do is upgrade it. Nuzlocke just took out a solid, God, I think that was most of the Knight's health right there with the Mind Vision, so I'm feeling very confident about his damage at this point too. He has the different perk where he can go up to 12 powerful naturally, and then he only loses one charge at a time, so he's doing pretty good there. Demolishing Blow I'm curious about for Yogurt. Devastate I'm also curious about because it applies bleed. Here we get our free options, and this is actually a really good one. We get an Archmage book for Nuzlocke, so he gets 2 draws a turn. We get the Golden Harp, so that permanently reduces a song spell by 1 every turn for Gustav, so he'll never have energy problems again. Mirror of Cassandra is obviously amazing. Who's the best to double up on? It's probably Sylvie. Sylvie playing double barrage is going to be incredible. So yeah, that is just that free shop in Act 4 for Nuzlocke. Oh god, it's such a good perk to get. Definitely worth doing if you haven't tried it before. Feels very, very empowering. Probably, I'd say it's on par with going down the center. I'd say it's slightly better than going down the center, because going down the center you don't have as hard fights normally. But of course you can only pick up 1 item each from the chest, but oftentimes you don't need all the items in the chest anyways, whereas the shop lets you pick up all the items for free, so whatever you want. So it's an interesting mix. It's not too much better, but the Straw Hat run itself, like if you go full Straw Hat down the center, is definitely better. Also, let me get back to talking about the run. So yeah, at this point we're doing good damage. I just want to make sure we're healed up before the Guardians fight, because they are still a bit scary to me. I need to be able to kill 1 before they go on round 2, ideally. I can kill the guy in back, or I can kill the light one. Probably the one in back, because the light one does his empowering block where he does damage to the entire team, and quite significant amount of damage to the entire team every time he gets hit. So it's usually pretty hard to kill him round 2, though I did have to do it in the other run. Purple Mind Visions is coming into play, where Nuzlocke actually is finishing things off. Last Reward is probably the best thing that you can get with Scouts, just generally, especially if you're able to upgrade to 0. It's just a way to make a card free in your graveyard. It does exhaust it, but usually super worth because the fights aren't going on that long. Ideally, unless you're on a really grindy team. In which case you might go for the Last Reward that grabs you a Vanished card instead. So, not really too much to worry about there. Here I do remember to double up my target shooting. So I want to keep that until I use it up as much as possible. There's an argument to apply it again right away, but I wanted to save it for Sylvie, so I keep it in her deck. I also am not sure what I'm drawing next turn. Arguably, I should have potentially played the double up attack card, because I don't think I'm going to be able to save it to double up attacks like twice. But yeah, Sylvie has the potential to play 3 barrages in a turn, and that's very exciting to me. Of course, it gets even better if I get to empower her completely with Gustav, who's having a hard time drawing the Battle Ballad when he needs it. But there's a Last Reward. And a Scavenge if I want it, so yeah. Oh, but the yeah, there's no Battle Ballad in the graveyard. The frog has tried to dig very deep, but could not find the, not Battle Ballad, Ballad of Conquest. I keep saying the wrong name, I'm so sorry. I'm not actually that sorry again, but yeah. Cool. we get the dark one down pretty far. Again, we're able to reduce his piercing resistance, which is nice. I do need to take out the rest of the block on the light guardian here, because otherwise he'll do way too much damage with his attacks since they scale off of block, and Yogre will die despite having a million health. And the frog might die too. So yeah. Nuzlocke should have the damage though. I knew he had the sheep, so there's always a little bit of a play where you don't want to like hit the hit the guardian down too much that one of your pets does the damage and ends up proccing its effect where it does damage to the entire team. So yeah. Nuzlocke does take off with about 1,000, or no, it was more like 700. It was like 700, 800 HP off the guardian. So pretty impressive overall. I don't think they're even at max vulnerable. Now, though, it's a little bit tricky since I have to split my damage, but I do get the triple barrage turn, which, as you can see, despite Law of Light healing them, does quite some work. So I have to be careful about what I'm playing here. I do want to get as powerful as possible with Battle of Conquest, but I don't want to heal them up so much that Nuzlocke can't kill the Light Guardian in a single turn. We have the max vulnerable on them now as well. So really, Nuzlocke is at max powerful. He's as damaging as can be. Thankfully, Yogre's able to do at least 100 damage there. And yeah, he is also able to survive with a good amount of HP, and thankfully having Reinforce, that definitely saved his life. So yeah, gosh, they do so much. It's so painful. Ah, man. Sorry, still can't get over these guys. These guys are always a challenge, like every single run, which is kind of good, you know? Like I'd say you'd probably want your guys to be challenged. Oh yeah, I picked up Carnage on Yogre because I figured I was getting enough Sharp and Bless on everybody. That with the Battle of Conquest, that like he could really start doing some damage with even a Carnage in the late stages. This time, all I need to do is take out that amount of that 300 block so that I don't die. Which I'm fairly confident in Nuzlocke's ability, but then I get less and less confident as I move on, but thankfully he doesn't have enough damage to kill me. So, yeah, that was a little bit scary. But look at the damage I'm doing. It's pretty incredible. I don't know why I decided to not attack more there. Oh, because I didn't want to blow up from the darkness, because I'm not sure how many more attacks I'm going to have to take. I see. We do apply a little bit of caps on healing. He's healing up, like, just so much. The 2% heal is crazy. I don't know how you're supposed to beat these guys on sandbox mode with the percentage heals that they do. And it's sort of something I've been pondering. Outside of the infinite that I showed, which, yeah. These guys are definitely a puzzle in and of themselves for how to get here and win. Without an infinite. Still thinking about that. But I would say this fight's pretty over. We've seen that we can take even some of his strongest turns, and we weren't even at max vitality then. So I'm fairly confident I'll be able to do this. I don't mind healing him up to full here. He's at max bleed, so Yogre's going to be able to start doing as much damage as he wants. Yeah, we're pretty stacked. Sylvie's got her barrages going. There we go. That's exactly what I needed. We're dealing an amount of damage each turn, so I'm hoping to kill him exactly this turn. He does get to go, and he applies this thing, but maybe if Nuzlocke can draw another Mind Visions, I don't even know if I have any left. I probably don't. He could do damage. Oh, I should have the one that stays in my deck, but I don't have a triple one. So at this point, it's just the game of not playing cards as much as possible, but also making sure Sylvie has Powerful and Bless. And by not playing cards as much as possible, I guess I mean playing as many cards as possible. But there we go. We're able to attack him through his turn. There's another barrage, but that's not really useful for Sylvie. There's another Ballad of Conquest, which at this point I ran out of them because I had the last wishes. And I'm realizing that I probably want more Ballad of Conquests in my deck. So I should take that one. I do want to change it so that it goes to, or it's available on stanza 2, not just 3. But for now, it's fine. We do get the level up here. So 3-star stuff, making sure dinner's ready. Basically gives us more premium meat more of the time. So that should actually also help us take care of our energized problems, which I totally forgot about until the end of this run here. Perforating shots, making range attacks ignore sharp is kind of cool. but it doesn't apply more sight, and I'm already getting up to 50 sharp, so we're good. And lucky me, we find Power Coil. Now, I could have had purple Power Coil, so that would have been very nice. But yeah, there's no way I'm not taking a Power Coil on someone here. Ankh of Life has been very fun on Yogur because it's let him be up at full health for the entirety of his turns, but also Nullifier is one of those other ones that's just incredible. Kingmaker's really cool too. When heals, you get the Bless and the Buffer and Vitality, and it's also just an insane resistance ring. Plus 35 HP, plus 20% all resistances, so yeah. We got very good stuff here. I'm giving Kingmaker to Yogur. I feel like that's going to be very good. Am I not taking Nullifier? No, there's no way. Right? No, there's no way. I have to take... No, I should put Kingmaker on Sylvie. I should put Nullifier on Yogur. I know I have the Ankh card and it's amazing, but there's no way I do this, right? Begging my past self here. Oh, man. Nezglect also still has a really terrible armor, by the way. So him having to take Nullifier does suck a little bit. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm figuring it out here. It looks like this footage just isn't sped up, and that's probably why it's taking a bit. I guess my cuts weren't the most refined on this video. Yeah, so this is the full amount of time on my decision processes for items like these. You know, it's a good problem to have when your items are so good you just can't pick like which ones you want where. I'm pretty sure Red Steel Cloak should go on to Nezglect though. Yep, I redo this. I do Kingmaker on Yogur still? Really? I don't think that's right. I don't think that should be the case. I'm picking up Power Coil on Sylvie for her ring instead. Okay. I mean, it's fine. I think Kingmaker on Sylvie might have been good. I think I go for it on Yogur because Yogur is going to be applying most Vitality to himself a lot of the time. And he's going to be healable in that sense because the Vitality doesn't bring you up to the max health due to the madness that makes it so that Vitality only actually gives you half of the health that it would give you otherwise. But yeah, Sylvie, again, Cassandra's Mirror, we got Power Coil. It's at least nice going on her because she does have the, what's it called, perk? Trying to remember. Gosh, can't remember what it's called. She does have the powerful perk, but also she is going to go before Nezglect every time, so we'll at least get the powerful up on Nezglect. We have round 2. I can't play that Ballad of Conquest because it's a stanza 3. I do need to change that, but I haven't had the chance yet. Healing Serenade has been very nice for all my heals so far, so I do like the way that turned out. Wicked Craftsman, I'm not really like sure about that one for this run. I probably could have gotten rid of that. I think I will soon here. I'm still a little bit disappointed how I did these items in the past, but I forgive myself. You're welcome to be disappointed with me too if you're this far in the video and making it to this. Here we are, doing really well though. We get a purple Devastate. It's always kind of fun to have. I gotta take it because I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yogur's becoming a carry at this point. Not sure that's the right call. Here I'm able to change up my Ballad of Conquest. So we have 3, 2 that stay in the deck, but they might get removed if I do Last Wish them. Exploit Openings I'm changing to just do as the max damage possible, but it disappears from the deck, I believe. And we're upgrading anything that we can. Barrage is probably worth the upgrade just for the base damage alone, even if I don't plan on doing anything else with it. Got Helping Hands here. We could upgrade. Last Reward's also a good upgrade. Making it cost 0 instead of 2 is quite the energy save, though Gustav doesn't really have energy problems right now. So actually getting something out of the Vanish pile might be better. Upgrading Master Spell to stay in the deck is also probably worth it for Nezglect if I plan on being a little bit more grindy. So I think those are the 2 I'm worried about. Yeah, Master Spell is definitely the safer choice there. If we have Master Spell in the deck, I'm pretty sure we can survive the grindier, harder turns of the final boss fights, even if we end up having to go to round like 6 or 7 with the final boss himself. I don't think we could survive round 4 Yeah, I think round 4 we would die from hand check, so we do need to kill him before that, but thankfully we're able to do that. I went down this route just to show off the cool stone that you get, or we put the right gem in the zone there, and we get another energy for the very next fight, which is kind of dumb. Like, I wish you could at least have the energy for the next 2 fights, so give you a little bit of a buff against hand check. He's not even the final boss. But, like, it's kind of just always worth than getting it's always worse than getting, like, plus 15 HP on all your heroes. Like, that's really significant for some of these low health heroes like Gustav and Nezglect. Like, I just don't know. Like, it's never really a balanced option. And that's, like, if you do the Tianismo with Nezglect and go this, like, super awesome special route. Like, I don't know. They could afford to buff that more. Like, honestly, it could give you plus 1 energy through the rest of the boss fight, and maybe that would make it way too good, but it'd be really cool. Or for the rest of the fights that you got, but yeah, I don't know. Something to make it feel less bad. Like, this route just isn't worth going even now, probably. Probably would have been better for me to go the top end, but I wanted to show off doing Nezglect's like full run because, you know, he deserves to shine a little bit. Maybe this is like counter shine because it's showing how bad that like little route is. But yeah, you can see Yoga with 15 bless, 13 sharp is doing quite a bit of damage with Carnage now. Obviously he has the potential to do even more, and going up to 14 powerful is very good too. Sylvie, of course, is still our main damage dealer here. There's no one who's even going to come close. But I do like the way that the run is turning out. I feel like everybody's kind of a damage dealer except for Gustav, but Gustav's doing his thing because he is singing songs for the rest of the crew. And it's going great. Yeah, it was so great that I did feel very confident I could do the sad route here and not have too much trouble. Though I think it did end up delaying me a round. Yeah, so I'm killing him round 3 instead of round 2. That's fine. Grinding Wheel on Yoger's pretty great. I do want that. We get a last reward on Sylvie, also really great. Yeah, Grinding Wheel for giving as much sharp as possible on Sylvie I think is worth it. I'm tempted by another Ballad of Conquest because I'm like, I might be getting rid of more of them. So maybe it's worth it. But I take the stealth instead because I knew that Malekith was mad at me before for not taking that purple smoke bomb. So here we have a maximum stealth. I'm able to upgrade my barrage there, so it does a lot of damage. The grinding wheel I changed so that I could target any hero and give it to Sylvie ideally. We do have the ability to remove cards. Don't think there's too much more I want to do off of that. Also, why are we removing cards? Didn't we have a fight to do? Am I crazy? Did I skip past that fight? Did we ever do it? I might have skipped past that fight. No, I think we did it. That was the sad fight. That's right. Oh yeah, so here I show hand check. We do die round 3, so as good as this team is, I was really confused there for a second. So as good as this team is, we do have some troubles. Like, I do want to make sure that Sylvie goes after all the clones. The goal is to kill the clones before they get to go next turn. Even then, I'm not certain we're going to be able to buff everybody up enough, because we are a round 2 team at our core. So Yoger really needs to do work in slowing down the entire enemy team. This is where that shield slam might have been very nice, because we could have slowed them down by 4, guaranteeing that everybody goes faster next turn. But everybody's going to go faster anyways, so it's really not the end of the world. And ideally, Sylvie is able to do a ton of damage next turn. This is like the one fight it would have been nice to still have a volley on, or some sort of AoE. But overall, I find it's worth it for not having, or so for having the single target damage and not having a sort of dead card in your deck for the remainder of the hand check fight after you deal with the clones and the final boss, the Archon. So yeah, this is definitely not my first attempt on the hand check fight, as you saw. I skipped a little bit ahead in there. It is a pretty difficult fight. Hey, yeah, I guess it was round 3 that we die instead of round 2. Gosh, he's just very damaging. He applies so much fire that he transforms into dark. It's kind of nuts. I think it's something like 50. You take like a 50 damage dark explosion. I don't know. It's crazy. But here we are able to buff up Sylvie with the Ballad of Conquest. And that gets her up pretty well. Like, we're at 33 sharp, 36 sharp, and 14 bless, so it's basically the plus 50 sharp. Plus she's at 13 powerful, so she is doing 113% more damage on top of the sharp that she's getting. There's the shield slam, so we do actually have it, which is nice, so they'll be slow for quite some time unless they heal themselves all off, which they can. I do make sure I get a double shot there. That feels fun to say, actually. I like saying that, double shot. I was hoping to get more than that though in a barrage, but I couldn't end up getting to my barrage, so I kind of messed up there. I do double shot this barrage though, because I want to make sure that I have the kills. I'm banking on Nezglect being able to kill the guy in back there, which is a little bit risky, but he does have 18 powerful. He has drawn his chilling gaze, and he does have 17 bless. So the chances are there, and he has his purple mind visions, and it does 1,000 damage. So yeah, he's clearly able to kill the guy in back. Nezglect's being sort of a powerhouse here, like I wanted him to be. The team came together really nice. Yeah, I can't say that enough, even though I feel like I've said it a few times. The one downside here is we do have our pets die. There might be a route where we could have killed him round 2 and saved all our pets, but I just sort of didn't want to try for that. That would take too long, and I'm fairly confident we don't need our pets at this point. And you know what? Purple Harpy survives, right? Like the owl. So, or sorry, Purple Harley, not Harpy. So yeah, we get to keep our little sight, little extra damage every turn. That's not bad. Yep, we still have a double shot that we can take out of our deck, and we can double up our barrage. So yeah, this is a done deal. We do kill him round 3 before he ends up killing us. A lot better fight there. Not that you saw the first fight. Ooh. Looks like it's a little bit slower here in the beginning. Is this base speed? Gosh, this is base speed of the game. This is not slowed down, I think. I don't know, this feels kind of slowed down. Oh, no, that's 70% speed, because I think I'm playing this back at like 70% speed still. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. So far, the Archon isn't too bad. Sorry, so far the Archon normally isn't like that bad for semi-grindy teams, as long as you can kill them like round 5, which is my plan here. And as long as you go after the clone so that you can either kill the clone or slow it down enough that it's not a problem. My main goal is to kill it. But like I said, we're getting a lot of energizes from Yogur, and he's already making it so I'm up to like 13 powerful and buffing myself up a ton. One barrage is enough to kill the clone. I'm not going to leave that to chance with Nezglect, because there's a very decent chance that he wouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, I actually, like, I have confidence we could probably kill him round 4 at this point. We just need the battle ballads to go off on everybody. Yogur's dealing damage, Nezglect's doing damage, and Sylvie is a monster. So I just want to save my mind visions until he gets to 100 sight. I don't know how many other fights. So yeah, this is definitely sped back up. I don't know. Sorry, how many other ways of doing the sight team there are that would be more sighty. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. Always curious to see other people's builds and ideas. And if you want me to post my perk lists or anything in my comments here, let me know about that too. It's something I could definitely do. But yeah, last reward, like I said, getting us those ballad ballads. We're playing a number of them in a turn. We have meditate for energize, and I feel like we now just have energy for days. Like, that's just, I just played delay response on Sylvie solely so that she could have some more inspire, because I feel like I needed that on her. So yeah, doubling up double shot, such a nice thing to do. Could last reward into the barrage. No, I can't do that because that's the wrong last reward for that. Okay, there's the double shot barrage combo if I want to try it. And I should have, if I wanted to do that, I should have stealth first. There we go. Yeah, so I should have barrage first, or double shot first, is what I was trying to say. So yeah, we're able to pick up another target shooting, which I'm not sure if that was more damage than just another double shot there would have been. Probably isn't. I'm saving both in my deck for some reason. Sylvie does get to go again immediately because she was just being the fastest. But I don't want her to blow herself up from dark because look at that, she almost dies. So that's why I wasn't playing cards there, is because I was fairly low on health. I feel like this was the second time I ended up playing the Archon fight because he ended up being pretty annoying in killing Sylvie with the dark explosions. Like the stuff just kept chaining to her and then blowing her up despite her very increased health. So yeah, it was a little bit rough. But she does end up surviving at 1 HP. Not even close, right? Yeah, this fight is pretty... It's still pretty challenging because he reduces all the auras by an amount, which I didn't actually think would get rid of sight, but now that I'm looking at this fight again, that might have lowered the sight that was applied to him, which I thought that would stay at 100 no matter what. Or maybe I just didn't get enough sight on him earlier, though I find that hard to believe. I'd have to double check on that. Yeah, something I hadn't quite noticed before. I thought sight could only... Like, I thought reduction in aura charges were technically the loss of... or sorry, technically like purge and stuff. Yeah. Premium meat, we're really just playing it on Sylvie to get her bless charges up as much as possible so she can have 50 sharp, 50 bless, and do 400 and... Oh, man, up to 600 damage there with a barrage. 400 without the piercing resistance. Gosh, that was... What an incredible turn. She did like 5,000 damage there in one turn. Not the most I've ever done, but still just incredible. Like, feels very good. This is round 4. Can Nezglect finish it off? It looks like I'm not entirely sure. It would take a purple Mind Visions, yep. And probably another yellow Mind Visions. Oh. Yeah, that's right. I applied just enough sight, and yeah, Nezglect gets him. Technically, he died at the start of round 5. But I'd say that's good enough. So, do end up unlocking... Like, I'd never been to that one shop in the desert before, so we do unlocking a lot of that stuff, which is fairly cool. Pretty good score for me. Not my max, but... here's the end game stats. Like you see, first time I had tried it, finished it successfully. We got Sylvie there. Here's her decks and all the items. Like, we got really good item luck. I felt like we got really good card luck in the beginning here as well. But this team overall is just pretty good. We never did get that energizing serenade, but we really didn't need it with Yogre because Yogre's meats end up giving so much energize. Still, I would have loved to have Energizing Serenade. Totally would have taken it, especially to throw in Malik's face. As you can see, Sylvie did by far the most amount of damage. She did 68,000 of the entire thing. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks everybody for watching. See you next time. Bye.